Hello everyone. In our constitution, we have a very important part, that is part 3, which consists of the fundamental rights. Our fundamental rights from article 12 to article 32. This special part gives us the importance of our rights under the constitution. Now when we say rights, rights can be of different kinds. It can be that we have moral rights based on morality, we have legal rights. The statutes provide for rights of the citizens, and when we compare moral rights and legal rights, we see that rights which are based on morality lack enforcement. They cannot be enforced in the courts of law. But legal rights which are conferred by statutes, they can be enforceable if the rights are breached, or if the statutes has provided for a remedy, we can get that remedy before the court of law. But there are other kinds of rights, that is the most important of all rights, that is the fundamental rights. These rights are fundamental as they are inherent to a human being, an inherent right of a human being. They are recognized by the United Nations as human rights. We have incorporated these rights in our constitution, which is able to be altered only through constitutional amendment. Fundamental rights are extraordinary legal rights and they are justiciable, that is, we can enforce them in the courts. Now, what are these fundamental rights and what are the features of these fundamental rights? How do we distinguish? So, these important parts or important features of the fundamental rights can be seen by looking into their characteristics. First of all, the fundamental rights in our constitution are an integral part of the constitution. As it is said in several cases, these fundamental rights cannot be amended except by a constitutional procedure which has been provided under article 368 in the constitution itself. Then fundamental rights are positive rights or negative rights. For example, when you say positive rights, it is worded in this manner. It says, all citizens shall have this right. So, it is worded in a positive manner. When we say negative, we say that the state shall not deny to any person. When we say shall not deny to any person this right, it is a negative restriction on the state, or it is a negative right which puts a restriction on the state to deny a person of that right. So, they are both positive and negative. Then the most important feature is they are justiciable rights. They can be enforced in the courts of law compared to the directive principles which cannot be enforced, which are not justiciable. Then another feature is that rights are not absolute. Rights also have duties. So, in certain cases, the state has a power to impose reasonable restrictions upon the fundamental rights when it is necessary to do so. For example, when there is an emergency, the provision says that the president has a power to suspend the fundamental rights during emergency. These rights can be suspended during emergency, but not some of the rights, which is also provided in the constitution. Then these rights are special rights given to the citizens of India. They are amendable, but again under certain restrictions. Now, part 3 of the constitution consists of the fundamental rights. Fundamental rights can be classified into 6 kinds of rights. First of all, a right to equality, that is article 14 to 18. Secondly, right to freedom, article 19 to 22. Thirdly, right against exploitation, article 23 and 24. And fourthly, freedom of religion, that is article 25 to 28. Cultural and education rights in article 29 and 30, and the soul of the constitution, or the most important right, that is right to constitutional remedies under article 32. So, these are the fundamental rights at a glance when we look at these rights. So, when we speak of article 14, it is a general right to equality before the law and equal protection of the laws guaranteed to the citizens of India. When we speak of article 15, it says that the citizen shall not be discriminated on 5 grounds which are stated in Article 15. Coming to Article 16, it is about the right to opportunity, equal opportunity in public employment. Then Article 17 speaks about abolition of untouchability, and Article 18 speaks about abolition of titles. This is right to equality. Coming to right to freedom, Article 19 guarantees 6 fundamental freedoms of the citizens of India. Article 20 speaks about the rights of convicts who are convicted of offences. Article 21 speaks about the most important right to life and personal liberty. And Article 22 speaks about the rights of arrested persons and detained persons who are preventively detained under the detention laws. Coming to the third right, that is right against exploitation, Article 23 says that forced labor is banned or forced labor is not allowed under the Constitution. Also, exploitation of citizens is not permitted, as illegal trafficking or illegal trade in human beings is made an offence. Under Article 24, it speaks about the children's rights, that is, a child is not allowed to work in hazardous situations or where there are hazardous substances used in factories or mines. Coming to freedom of religion, Article 25 guarantees the freedom of religion, freedom of conscience, and subject to 3 restrictions. Again, 26 speaks about the collective rights of people to establish their religious institutions. Article 27 speaks about prohibition of imposing tax or any taxes in the name of religion. 28 speaks about the rights of the educational institutions to have religious instructions. Next is the cultural and educational rights, which is mentioned in Article 29 and 30. There we discuss about the rights of linguistic minorities and religious minorities. So 30 speaks about the institutions which are minority institutions and what are their rights. Article 32 speaks about approaching of a person to the Supreme Court in case of violation of all these rights. So the Supreme Court has a power to give us constitutional remedies in the form of writs or directions or any other way which the Supreme Court thinks fit. So these are the rights which are enlisted or stated in Part 3 of the Constitution. Then there is one right, Article 31, which has been eliminated or which has been removed from the Fundamental Rights chapter. Earlier it was a fundamental right. By the 44th Amendment Act of 1978, it was removed from Part 3. It was transferred to new article, that is a 300A, which is now there. We have a right to property, but it is a legal right. It is not a fundamental right. It is a constitutional right, and property cannot be taken away except according to the procedure established by law. It is Article 300A. But as it is not in Part 3, it is not a fundamental right. So when we look at the scheme of fundamental rights, we see that the Bill of Rights in the Constitution of India has a special importance. I hope you have learned something from this video. If you have liked it, please share it with anyone who you think would be interested. Please leave your comments and I would be happy to reply to them. Do subscribe to get more information on everyday law and legal studies. Thank you.